Hi friends, my name is Susanna Ampum and I practice immigration law in Dallas, Texas. In today's video, we're talking about some of the most common work visas that are available to you to be able to work here in the U.S., live, and at times become a permanent resident. If you're interested, go ahead and subscribe. There's more videos to come. For most migrants to the United States, work authorization will typically come from a family petition. But work authorization isn't limited to just family petitions. Employment authorization in the U.S. can also come through work visas that allow you to stay here in the U.S. and work for either a temporary period of time or give you a pathway to permanent residency. The first question that you need to resolve is what type of work visa works best for your situation. Think of it this way. There are two categories in which the visas will fall into. There's the non-immigrant based visas, which are temporary work solutions. Then there's the immigrant based visas, which provide you more of a permanent residency pathway. There are a few factors that you should consider during your search for a work visa. First, your work visa options will depend on the type of work you plan to do in the U.S. Are you looking to invest in a new business? Are you an entrepreneur? What about seeking for an employer to sponsor you instead? Do you have a certain degree or skill level that considers you to be an expert in your field? Answering these basic preliminary questions will give you an idea of what type of work visa works best for you and what category you'll fit in. Today, we're going to talk about the work visas that are most commonly used by foreign nationals interested in working in the U.S. Starting off with the non-immigrant temporary work visas, these visas are going to give you renewable visas and at times allow your spouse to also be able to work here in the U.S. Even though these visas are temporary in definition, because they are renewable, it allows people to be able to come here to the U.S. to invest, start a new business, or work for an employer. Let's talk about some of the most common work visas that are available to you. The H visa. The most common type of H visa that you're going to see is going to be the H-1B visa. This is for specialty occupations for people who have a professional or academic field in which they're working in, or people who have special expertise in their field. Usually these are going to be people who also have a college degree or higher, or the equivalent work experience to match. This visa type does have a residency requirement of up to 3 years. Next is the H-2A and H-2B visa. The H-2A or H-2B visa. This is going to be for seasonal or peak load temporary workers. H-2A visa being more agricultural and H-2B visas being more non-agricultural. Generally, this type of visa, H-2A or H-2B, does not extend past a year. A lesser known H visa is called the H-3 visa. This is going to be for people who are coming to the U.S. to do training. Typically, this is going to be citizens of another country coming here to do training and afterwards will pursue their careers or professions outside of the U.S. The L visa. This is the intercompany transferee, where there's an existing company outside of the U.S. that's transferring their employee here to the U.S. to either open a branch or to continue working at the branch here in the U.S. This is going to be for people who are in their managerial role, directors, or executives in their company. The O visa. This is going to be for people who have extraordinary or exceptional abilities within their field and have achieved a lot of success. O visas are going to be typically for people who have extraordinary expertise in their field. P visas. These are for people who have exceptional abilities in performance, athletics, or the arts. R visas. This is going to be for people who are coming to the U.S. to work as religious workers for members of a religious denomination that holds an official nonprofit status here in the U.S. TN visa. This allows Canadian and Mexican citizens to be able to come to the U.S. to work temporarily for U.S. companies. TN visas do also have the ability to bring their spouses and their children to the U.S. as well. Now, in addition to the temporary work visas, there are also student visas, which are also temporary in nature, meaning that as a student or a trainee to the United States, one could come here to study. Now, as a student, There are CPT or OPT options, which allow a student to then further their education through training or work through an employer. With the student visas that are available to you, living in the US allows a student to then leverage their student status to employers who are then able to petition for them through either the H-1B visa or other types of visas, depending on the type of student you are. Now, when it comes to the immigrant-based work visas, these present migrants with a unique opportunity to live and work in the US, almost like a permanent resident or a green card holder. These applicants are typically considered as priority workers, highly skilled, and have exceptional abilities that are considered experts in their field. Now let's talk about the permanent residency route through an employment-based immigration process, so the EB visas. There are 5 main types of employment-based visas that you're going to be looking at. The first one is going to be the EB-1 visa. The EB-1 visa is going to cover those who are coming into the country with extraordinary ability, business professionals, academics, scientists, artists, researchers, you name it. EB-2 visas are also available to professionals who are holding advanced degrees in their field or industry as well. EB-2 is unique in the sense that it does provide those who have the ability to provide at least 10 years worth of experience and to show that their work can benefit the national interest of the United States, the opportunity to be able to petition for themselves. This is called the EB-2 National Interest Waiver. EB-3 visa is also available to those who are holding a bachelor's degree or the foreign equivalent of that degree. The EB-3 also requires that there is a skilled labor aspect to it, so having at least 2 years worth of experience in your field. EB-4 is going to be a specialized category of visa that's going to be for special immigrants, which includes pastors, minors, religious workers, foreign service posts, and retired employees of international organizations. And finally, the EB-5 visa. This is going to cover the Immigrant Investor Program, and it allows investors to come to the U.S. to make an investment of $1 million or more to build a business here in the U.S. The business would need to employ at least 10 full-time U.S. employees or target an employment area or sector within the U.S. Under the EB-5 program, investors and their family members are eligible to apply for their green cards. Now, these are the most commonly used work visas that are available to students, to employers, to investors, and to entrepreneurs that are coming to the United States. With that said, there's always a concept of change of status. And so if you come into the United States with one type of visa, don't feel limited to staying in that visa category. For example, as an F student or M student coming to the US, you do have the option to then have an employer petition for you through either an H-1B or to do an EB visa, which allows you to have permanent residency here in the US. As you're considering your research and looking into all the types of visas that are available to you, give me a call if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. See you in the next video.